Welcome to this introductory video lesson on settlement geography. The following concepts and definitions are important to remember. Settlement, site, situation, the definition of what makes a settlement rural, and the definition for an urban settlement. A settlement is a place where a group of people live. There are buildings and infrastructure around which this group of people conduct their daily activities. Site refers to the actual piece of land on which a settlement has been built. Site factors refer to why a specific piece of land was chosen on which to build a settlement. I find it handy to remember that when these settlements were built many years ago, the conveniences of life that we have today were not available. Something as simple as us going to the tap and opening it up to receive water, this convenience, for example, was not available to many people when these settlements were actually started many years ago. So site factors are those things that would have been considered before people decided to build a settlement on a specific site or on an actual piece of land. These site factors include the availability of water, fertile soil, flat and relatively gentle slopes, grazing for livestock, wood that could serve as fuel for making fire and for keeping people warm, and for making food, but this wood could also be used as building material for structures, warm slopes that face the sun, in other words aspect, and the availability of easy transport routes. It is important to remember that you should be able to identify site factors on a particular map in the mapwork section of the examination. So site is the actual piece of land on which a settlement is built, whereas site factors refers to the reasons why a specific piece of land was chosen to start a settlement. Let's consider the settlement at Nachtwacht. In actual fact, this is a farm. It is a commercial farm for two reasons: because it has been given a name and because there is a large amount of land that has been cultivated. Nevertheless, the site factors for Nachtwacht would include proximity to water sources. The fact that the land has been cultivated indicates that the soil is fertile. The area is relatively flat and gentle because of the absence of any significant contour lines, but also the fact that there is transport and transport infrastructure available to the farm in order to get the harvested produce to the market. If you consider the landing strip, some of the site factors for the landing strip would include a gentle and flat land, the fact that there is ample space surrounding the landing strip for expansion, but also the fact that the landing strip is in close proximity to transport and transport infrastructure. Do ensure that you are able to identify and list site factors in the mapwork section as well as the theory section of your examination. Situation refers to the location of a settlement in relation to its surrounding environment. In simple terms, this basically means that you are able to describe where a settlement is located or where a settlement is found by describing what you see in and around the particular settlement. For example, the settlement in the picture is situated or located at the bottom of the slope. So situation is a reference to the location of the settlement in relation to its surrounding environment. When one considers the settlement in the diagram, its site factors could include access to water, fertile soil as indicated by the cultivated land. There is easy access to transportation, in addition to the fact that there are bridging points across the river. In other words, places where you can move from one side of the river to the other. In terms of situation and describing where things are located, the village green can be described as being situated at the center of the settlement. The farmstead or the farmhouses could be described as being situated around the village green, and the entire settlement could be described as being situated to the south of the river. Do ensure that you are able to define and understand the concepts of site and situation. There are two main types of settlements. A settlement is either rural or urban. Rural and urban settlements differ from each other in terms of the economic activities which people are involved in, as well as their size and complexity. A rural settlement is a settlement where the main economic activity is primary. Rural settlements are smaller in size and they have one main function. That function of the rural settlement could be that it functions as a farming settlement, a fishing settlement, a mining settlement, or the activities are based on forestry. Rural settlements are small in size, they are unifunctional, meaning that they have one main function and the main economic activity is primary. Urban settlements are larger in size. They offer a variety of different functions, different goods and services that can be accessed, and therefore an urban settlement is said to be multifunctional. An urban settlement is a settlement where the main economic activities are secondary and tertiary. Examples of an urban settlement would be a city. Rural settlements, the main economic activity is primary, whereas in urban settlement, the main economic activities are secondary and tertiary. The map shows examples of a rural settlement as well as an urban settlement. The rural settlement is smaller in size. It has one main function, in that the function here is farming, which is a primary economic activity. The urban settlement is much larger and it offers a variety of functions and goods and services that can be accessed. Those services would be things like your schools, your post office, your police station, that would typically appear as letters, different letters on your topographic map. When considering the farm at Goodwill, the site factors would be the fact that there's fertile soil, there's access to water, there are transportation routes, and in addition to the fact that on this map there is also a source of power in the form of power lines. This farm at Goodwill, in addition, is definitely a commercial farm, as the farm has been given a name and a number. A part of the land has been cultivated. This farm probably specializes in grains, as the word silo, which is a storage facility for grain, appears on this map.